A vibrant bouquet of various flowers is accompanied by a reflection on a picturesque land where birds sing and flowers bloom. A group listens as a tall figure declares an intention to annul engagement, surprising everyone nearby. A startled expression accompanies the thought that a story begins from the worst possible moment. Shock arises from news of an engagement annulment, despite an internal acknowledgement that it was inevitable. Memories of strange dreams from childhood linger, as a young individual lies in bed clutching a stuffed animal. Recollections of dreams set in another world surface alongside the memory of constant gaming. A sterile hospital room contains white sheets and medical equipment, where the air feels heavy and oppressive. A frail body is confined to a bed with a respiratory machine, marking a life filled with constant exhaustion. A doctor delivers grave news to worried parents, who question the prognosis of a year left. Fragmented memories intertwine with dreams, leaving an individual feeling disconnected and forgetful. A desire to enjoy youth is expressed by someone absorbed in playing a handheld game. An individual reflects on an unexpected event at the winter term end, feeling unease. A lively gathering of friends unfolds, highlighted by a special event featuring a key character. Cedric Jean Elmire, a pivotal figure in the Drexler Empire, is introduced as a significant character in a story's main plot. Questions arise about the role of a love interest in the main scenario, sparking curiosity and confusion. Lilia Rainworth's background is outlined, emphasizing her rise from commoner to baron's daughter and her central role in the story. Thoughts swirl as someone grapples with a vague sense of unease, questioning the relevance of these memories. A character named Irene is addressed directly, with frustration over repeated misunderstandings. Realization dawns that the current situation mirrors a known game world, identifying Irene as the villainous daughter. A contemplation about memories from a past life takes place, musing on their untimely vagueness. One person expresses doubt about being out of character, while another appears dissatisfied. A reflection on a long engagement reveals feelings of being misunderstood. Apologies are expressed with regret, indicating a move towards another person. Frustration leads to impaired vision, but clarity about the situation emerges. A realization of someone's hurtful behavior is coupled with the perception of a facade. Accusations of hostility and harassment are made regarding certain individuals. Tension fills the air as someone is visibly shocked by unfolding events. Questions about loyalty and betrayal arise, highlighting emotional turmoil. A scheme is acknowledged as someone reflects on the cleverness of another's actions. A composed exit is planned, with internal encouragement to stay strong and not cry. Deciding not to give others a sense of superiority, one resolves to maintain dignity. An elegant farewell is given to everyone present. A graceful gesture is made while addressing Prince Cedric. A heartfelt confession of deep love is followed by a determined resolve. Thoughts on general narrative rules are interrupted by a sudden realization. Memories bring awareness of an impending disinheritance, along with other events. Acceptance of the game-like world prompts a resolve not to cry. An approaching timeline creates urgency for action. Determination is expressed not to give up, despite upcoming challenges. Vague memories are seen as an advantage, leading to a sense of luck. A decisive stride is taken, with plans to stop something significant. A vow is made to avoid a bad ending, no matter the cost. Acceptance of a restrictive situation follows a consideration of credit options. The castle of the Demon King becomes the center of attention with a loud noise. An urgent plea to turn back arises amid the dangerous forest surroundings. An apology is given for abruptness, followed by a reassuring acknowledgement. Irene Lauren d'Autriche asserts her determination to meet with a master until her wish is granted. A conversation reveals a dismissive attitude towards a situation, expressing indifference. Frustration builds as someone decides to push forward, letting go of care. Laughter accompanies an offer of help mingled with surprise. Anticipation grows as the surroundings begin to crumble, prompting a turn. Overwhelmed by someone's beauty, an intense reaction follows. Irene is reminded to stay focused despite distractions caused by beauty. Confirmation of someone's identity leads to a significant request. A bold proposal for marriage is made with conviction. Confusion and a rumbling atmosphere greet the marriage proposal. Irene clarifies her proposal with emphasis and determination. Irene reflects on regained memories and a resolve to avoid a bad ending. The image shows a family portrait where the youngest daughter reflects on her privileged status and siblings' brilliance. A character thinks about the perception of madness. One character, feeling pressured, reassures another not to act like a big brother. A character inquires if something is as the other remembers, while someone hides behind a fan. Another character feels like an outsider despite their efforts, with the name Irene mentioned. In a garden, one person kneels and proposes marriage. The prince is identified as Cedric, and feelings of worth are contemplated if chosen by him. A child exclaims "Mama," while a character resolves to help someone become emperor. The reflection on how an unwanted daughter could turn into a crown prince's concubine. Pondering over different possible outcomes, someone considers playing a different role. Character questions why another has taken care of someone, revealing it was due to fainting. A character discusses the consequences of certain actions, emphasizing the damage they can cause, and requests understanding from another character. An individual reflects on how the Demon King was accompanied by two attendants, while another character appears contemplative. A conversation unfolds about the seriousness of a game, as one person firmly declines participating, emphasizing the importance of other matters. The focus shifts to a discussion on protection, with one individual declaring their presence as voluntary, leading another character to an intense gaze. Recognition is given to Claude Jean Almayer, identified as Prince Cedric's brother and the former crown prince. The narrative speaks of the anticipated return of a powerful demon king and the associated prophecy. Descriptions mention the profound impact of the being known as a demon king on the world. The narrative predicts catastrophic environmental changes initiated by the demon king's actions. Reflections reveal how a character with immense potential was cast aside for years, now holding a significant power within them. The story unveils a pivotal moment where the protagonist faces a monumental challenge, pondering the role of a protector. Amidst chaotic events, a character experiences confusion, questioning the situation with a sense of urgency. A vivid moment of realization occurs as someone concludes the significance of an event with an unexpected declaration. Tension rises as a decision about staying human becomes crucial, highlighting a desire to prevent metamorphosis. The plot reveals hidden paths within a narrative, with one character feeling as though they've unlocked a secret. Determination is conveyed as someone devises a plan, intent on averting an ominous awakening. With open arms and enthusiasm, a character proposes marriage to King Claude, eager to forge a new alliance. A swift movement results in another character being grabbed and halted, while companions engage in urgent discussion. In a firm exchange, one individual declares their next action, met with a cautious response suggesting a return home. Tension builds as sentimentality is confronted, prompting the other to reflect on the significance of their feelings. Panic ensues as one insists emphatically, warning against creating a disturbance while another appears concerned and imploring to calm down. A sense of urgency is palpable as one voices disbelief, demanding clarity on the situation with wide, expressive eyes. Tension builds as accusations fly regarding past decisions, leading to defensive reactions and reminders of recent personal matters. Arms are raised in frustration as another reveals their own intentions, while the mood shifts to charged emotions within the group. Resolute expressions confront a shared history, leading to declarations of not wanting to be beholden to anyone, highlighting a personal struggle. A sharp interaction occurs, with a sudden movement causing surprise, underlining a fractured relationship and hinting at deeper issues. One teases with a playful question about hesitation, while another is caught off guard, their face shifting in surprise revealing vulnerability. In a light-hearted moment, the mood lightens as one claims experience in past encounters, indicating a playful banter about maturity. A decisive moment arises, with one asserting their intent to come back, while the response is dismissive, suggesting a power dynamic. Whimsical magic transforms the ambience, evoking wonder and excitement as one floats joyfully, contrasting with a stoic presence nearby. A quiet moment occurs when one expresses gratitude for a gift, showcasing a contrast between surprise and sincerity. Admiration spills over as appreciation for an enchanting garment is exclaimed, capturing a jubilant atmosphere amidst varying reactions. A glare permeates the air, indicative of rising tensions while one attempts to assert their feelings on matters of appearance and behavior. Sarcastic laughter follows an uncomfortable inquiry about past actions, reminding the group of previous events with a playful jab. Interactions become convoluted as casual conversations meander through socio-economic implications, drawing humor from an unexpected source. A sudden disruption breaks the tension as one brushes off a remark, which carries undertones of misunderstanding, forcing them to reassess. Conflicting motivations arise in conversation, balancing shared histories against individual perspectives, leading to an engaged exchange. The urgency of dialogue becomes evident as one insists on clarity amidst playful gestures, emphasizing the need for straightforward communication. Emotions peak as heartfelt grievances emerge, portraying a complex web of relationships while seeking comfort in the shared experience. The scene wraps with a reflective consideration on identity and personal interaction, posing deeper questions on companionship and fulfillment. Her admiration is clearly conveyed as she expresses her respect for someone's strength. She resolutely declares her readiness and determination to protect what is dear. The words "go home" are accompanied by a twirl of fingers suggesting dismissal. Sitting on the bed, she reflects on not feeling tired but longing for something more. She admits to having more time and hopes the outcome will improve with someone's help. A realization about her own form is met with the awareness that the master is calling. Determined, she decides to move forward, with a flower blooming alongside a soft laugh. Confusion erupts as a question is raised about the unexpected behavior of a girl. An agreement is reached that she will likely return, with reflections on her quick thinking. A messenger rushes in, announcing an important visitor, causing an urgent reaction. Plans are discussed silently, while instructions to keep watch are given. Curiosity arises about why Lady Irene was allowed into the castle. Acknowledgement of her presence is justified by the choice to hear her out despite doubts. She admiringly acknowledges another's strength with sincerity. Alone, a figure is advised not to let their guard down, with an offer of refuge if needed. Amidst teacups, concerns about a recent banquet incident are expressed. She apologizes sincerely to her father for the unfortunate events. A conversation takes place in a sitting room, reflecting on past expectations and disappointments. A sly smile emerges as she notes her father's calm demeanor despite her engagement being annulled. Her father, Rudolf Laurent d'Autriche, is described as having a dangerous tendency to enjoy others' suffering. She recalls how he would watch her struggles with detached amusement, never offering help. Despite her frustration over losing, he would analytically explain her failures with enthusiasm. She questions if even a father's pride isn't damaged, while describing gaining strength through hardships. Her father reflects nostalgically on her ambition and determination as a young girl. With resignation, he agrees to her decisions about friends, leaving her feeling the weight of his expectations. Discussions of business attempts unfold amidst rustic culinary imagery. Surprise strikes as it's revealed the business has become public through unforeseen interventions. An accusation of theft is met with incredulity and a sense of inevitable memory loss. She listens as blame is placed on her for consequences resulting from her actions, leaving her apologetic. A hand presents a seal, signifying a request to attend a royal event, while someone points out there's an important task at hand. A character shares information about seeking advisors from enemies during negotiations and mentions Camilla. There's a discussion about the consequences of attending a banquet, where someone contemplates the potential gains and losses. With determination, an individual declares their intention to attend, emphasizing a personal principle of facing challenges. A figure expresses pride in their daughter's decision and reminds her of the importance of compensating for losses. A conversation ensues about a demon attack and the necessity of revisiting the circumstances. Someone casually dismisses the memory. The father warmly encourages his daughter to do her best, as she reflects on his seriousness while holding a mirror. Lying in bed, a person reflects on the mysterious powers of a ring and the upcoming threat, contemplating their strategy. Amused, an individual playfully plans to fund actions against the Demon King, receiving a surprise reaction. Resting under a blanket, someone strategizes on how to appeal to a character named King Claude. A realization dawns on an individual about the importance of attending the banquet, prompting a startled reaction. Under a crescent moon, a building looms as a rhetorical question is posed about divine disdain. Amidst lush trees, someone reflects on the pleasant weather and writes to their mother, feeling amazed by the forest's transformation. With a smile, the individual recalls successfully triggering a downfall scenario, feeling that events are unfolding as planned. Sitting on a bed, they struggle to remember past events while humming in concentration. Deep in thought, they consider two pivotal events impacting their future, with particular concern about the Demon King's awakening. A scene shows the engagement announcement for Prince Cedric and Lady Lilia, marking a significant event. To prevent this announcement, a plan unfolds involving the abduction of Lilia by a hired scoundrel. Irene attends the evening party to reunite with Prince Cedric, but her plan is thwarted by Mark's interference. Banished and disowned, Irene's actions lead to her being thrown out as a commoner, with Lilia accusing her. At breakfast, the desire to avoid attending the event is evident, as father greets Irene. A peek over the shoulder reveals concerns about the party, leading to a conversation about potential disownment. Understanding her father's seriousness, Irene jokes about absence, realizing the implications. Determined, Irene plans to bring King Claude to the party, while speculating on the annulment's impact. Lost for almost an hour, a trail leads in circles, frustratingly recognized. Acknowledging defeat in meeting someone, Irene contemplates a crow trick, offering a token of apology. She expresses delight about learning something new from playing a game related to monsters enjoying human food. A conversation reveals the importance of the gatekeeper's mark for proving trustworthiness, with emphasis on those allowed to use it. A crow demands a mark from a girl and acknowledges her claim of being the strongest gatekeeper. The crow is invited to taste a cookie, with a compliment on the girl's thought process. Enjoyment and a brief moment of surprise accompany the tasting of the cookie. A remark is made about the foolishness of trusting humans, with instructions for others to stay still. The crow and a bat-like creature react with skepticism to a statement from a human, feeling a chill. Concern is raised as the crow reveals having added a paralysis drug to a cookie. An urgent call is made for King Claude to appear if he wishes to assist the monster. She threatens to pluck feathers from the creature, creating a sense of fear. King Claude is greeted with a request to heal the injured crow. The crow, despite previous threats, is impressed by the healing, yet still vows revenge. Recollection of past insults leads to a tense yet humorous exchange about being even. Assurance of sincerity is offered alongside a peace-offering chocolate cookie. Proof of safety is demonstrated by eating a non-almond cookie. The crow exclaims delight at the taste of the chocolate cookie, feeling anxious relief. A confirmation about the cookies is given, despite acknowledging the place isn't ideal. Doubt is expressed regarding the ingredients, with suspicion about something additional inside. Reflecting on intentions, a desire to set a certain mood is shared. A confession is made about adding an aphrodisiac for men. An observation of strangeness is met with disheartenment. Laughter follows a comment about using an aphrodisiac after taking a monster hostage. Mention of King Claude's resistance to poison highlights the ineffectiveness of certain medicines. Frustration arises from the lack of time and options besides aphrodisiacs. A request for a future party is delicately made, despite initial reluctance to hear reasons. Questioning of understanding leads to an inquiry about the necessity of an aphrodisiac. An amusing suggestion to earn favor through submission is remarked upon. A resigned acceptance of King Claude's wishes, if necessary, is offered. A playful argument ensues about disrobing, followed by an earnest invitation. Plans for an evening party provoke exaggerated reactions between characters. Doubts about manipulation arise amid reassurances of wanting to share King Claude's grandeur. Arrival at mutual enthusiasm for attending the evening party concludes the discussion. A dramatic proclamation of the king's potential to shine instills both awe and fear. A character expresses concern over being stopped, doubting their worthiness to attend an event. An individual warns another about compromising their position by aiding a monster. An exclamation reveals surprise at King Claude's concern, as wide eyes indicate astonishment. A figure conveys the party's purpose is to mock them, yet remains lighthearted about their reputation. Intentions to annul an engagement while approving a new one are discussed alongside seeking forgiveness. Doubts arise about whether another character was angered, leading to uncertainty. One person declines attending an event, while another comments on the absurdity of humans. The daughter of Duke d'Autriche is asked to leave as she reflects on someone's lack of social interest. An internal question arises about a character's true desires. Reminiscence triggers an inability to recall previous connections in a game, questioning Lady Lilia's identity. A talking bird in despair announces the disappearance of something, while another expresses annoyance at its presence. A character reproaches the bird named Almond for being rude about choosing names. News about a creature leaving the forest alarms various figures who note its absence. Contemplation about the creature crossing a barrier raises concerns regarding its whereabouts. Confirmation about a barrier surrounding the castle leads to a question about its purpose. An explanation reveals barriers exist to protect monsters from humans, monitored by King Claude. Recognition of an anti-war pact signifies familiarity with political agreements. Details about King Claude's agreement with the Emperor reveal protection terms between monsters and humans. Memories mention King Claude acquiring land at a young age in a peaceful exchange. A question about fulfilling wants arises as an individual reflects in a quiet room. An examination of Alucard's structure shows societal layers, describing residential and commercial areas. A depiction of various societal layers illustrates the separation from wealth to danger zones. An abandoned castle, situated behind the imperial castle, exists as a key point in the vicinity. Characters discuss the direction taken by a creature, with possible movement to the east in a generally accessible area. A conversation about the difficulty of using magic to retrieve something, as it needs to be in sight. Someone confidently assures they will find something, asking for a moment's wait. There's mention of a monster event at the academy, with concern over drawing attention. A recollection of Lady Lilia and Marx working together to defeat a monster. An individual volunteers to help search within the academy, showing determination. It is noted that familiarity with the school makes navigation feasible, suggesting a plan for organizing tasks. Despite its youth, a creature known as a Fenrir is acknowledged to have the potential for danger. A suggestion is made to use a scent to befriend the creature, borrowing an item from King Claude, an interaction where someone politely requests to borrow something from King Claude. A plan is formed to lead the creature to a secluded place, requesting a timely response. The character feels empathy for a lost creature, seeking to help despite lacking obligation. There's an ulterior motive of creating a sense of debt highlighted in the dialogue. A desire to make the wishes of someone come true is expressed with a hopeful look. A request for teleportation back to the academy is politely made. Visible surprise and reliance are exchanged, establishing trust between characters. There's introspection about dependability, acknowledged with a quiet resolve. Recollection of a past failure with Prince Cedric tempers expectations about future outcomes. A lost Fenrir is illuminated in focus, symbolizing a commitment to help it. Amongst a gathering, one person feels a determined obligation to assist the creature. A character in a coat expresses their intention to join a search, asking someone to come and get them if they find it first. Another character reacts with surprise as they address King Claude, who signals understanding. A figure assures the king they will find the lost entity, believing a Fenrir won't be defeated easily, while the king agrees. A character thinks that the Fenrir seems to be only part of what worries another person, while another claims it will be fine. A determined character states that another person wouldn't stay dead even if killed, seeking confirmation. The same character reflects on the size of the academy, deciding to head to the dormitory where an event occurs, panting as they run. They contemplate the possibility that the lost monster may be unrelated to the event, observing the exterior of a building. Hopeful to find it quickly, the character continues their search, feeling determined. A group struggles to harm a Fenrir, caught in a trap, with hopes of joining the Holy Knights if successful. Someone questions the intent to kill the monster, mentioning an anti-war pact. Lady Irene appears unexpectedly, noticing the trapped creature's plight. Irene recalls her brother's teachings on opening traps, determined to help. A person is silenced after mentioning being bitten. Irene apologizes to the creature, acknowledging its intelligence and scent recognition. She introduces herself to the creature, preparing to free it with a warning of possible pain. Irene urgently questions someone's actions. A person argues that they can kill the creature for hurting a human, while Irene insists they stop. The event's monster growls menacingly. Irene shouts for the monster to wait as a Fenrir approaches, emitting growls. Irene advises the creature to stop barking, promising to remove the trap soon. She instructs the Fenrir to take its child to a secluded place, mentioning King Claude will come for them. Someone urges haste, while Irene assures she will handle the situation. A crowd mutters while a figure questions Irene's presence, noting she left voluntarily. Irene claims she returned for something forgotten, realizing the event is happening. The figure doubts her explanation, mentioning a monster they heard about, while Irene confirms freeing it. A person supports Irene, expressing disbelief that she would antagonize the monster. Irene internally acknowledges being correct while noting the irony in another's belief. The man decides to overlook the intrusion for Lilia, telling Irene to leave as another notes her injury. He coldly states Irene can crawl back home, warning she reaps what she sows. Irene is relieved to have avoided a commotion. She reflects on being blamed for everything, noting her reputation can't worsen. Shock spreads as someone is surprised about a demon king's presence outside the forest. Irene is puzzled by King Claude's unexpected arrival. A person nervously questions a cloaked figure, suspecting them to be the demon king. They demand an answer, threatening arrest for trespassing. Frustration grows as the person feels ignored, yet unable to attack. The mysterious figure comments on the loudness of the human. A figure with an emotional tremor responds in surprise, while another stands stoically, initiating a delicate exchange. One figure kneels gracefully, expressing profound appreciation, while the other watches with an air of authority. A heartfelt message conveys gratitude towards a courageous act of aid towards a terrified creature. The recipient of gratitude responds with reluctance, highlighting the burden of false accusations they chose to bear. A somber acknowledgement reflects on the sadness of indifference surrounding potential victimhood. Observations are made regarding the anger of a creature towards humans, indicating a complicated relationship. An offer for mercy is suggested based on the sentiment of forgiveness, emphasizing conditional acceptance. An admission surfaces from one party, clarifying that assistance was received in a moment of distress, manifesting vulnerability. A revelation about helplessness arises, implying that a proposed action lacks practicality. One figure appears conflicted, grappling with an emotional impact as words resonate deeply. A casual dismissal is offered amidst a gesture, prioritizing the well-being of another. A concern emerges about another's well-being, revealing a sense of astonishment and care in the atmosphere. A sharp gesture initiates a promise to lead another to a grand estate, suggesting an air of confidence. An expression of astonishment emerges, questioning the origin of an unexpected surprise. A mysterious aroma intrigues, highlighting an incongruity with the winter season, inviting curiosity. A playful revelation is made about an extraordinary carriage, implying a whimsical journey. One expresses admiration for a beautiful view, while the other observes a seemingly ordinary appearance. A rebuttal addresses an inappropriate comment, emphasizing a desire to assert normalcy. A challenging inquiry arises, channeling frustration as the atmosphere grows tense. A direct confrontation occurs, enunciating a lack of regard for authority, revealing personalities clashing. A query demands an explanation, amplifying the atmosphere of urgency and concern. A whimsical scene depicts a fantastical journey enveloped by mythical creatures, dampening the excitement. An insistence on prime importance emerges, underscoring urgency and emotional strain. A measured reply conveys that minor misunderstandings are permissible if they promote peace. A dismissal of further discussion occurs, clarifying a lack of faith in others' beliefs. A voice of frustration queries why help wasn't utilized, exuding a protective energy. A calm, collected response suggests that even in their absence, grievances would persist, maintaining a stoic demeanor. A character reflects on someone speaking on their behalf. Another character expresses annoyance with loud disbelief and indifference to concern. The character mocks the need for help and explains why they are disliked. Someone quietly requests others to leave them alone. A character mentions the silence of the monsters as they ride in a magical carriage. Another character is surprised to learn they are viewed more favorably for saving a creature. A character learns their brave actions meant a lot to the monsters. A character advises that pretending not to care will not work. Two characters discuss trust, one expressing doubt about letting the other out of sight. A character is flustered when their former relationship is mentioned. A character observes someone else's resilience and independence. A character questions the motive behind marrying someone they don't love, who isn't human. Another character doubts their story will be believed. A character asserts that belief is not for the other to decide. The girl reflects, thinking, "He's not wrong, and now that he mentions it, I've never thought about it like that." A close-up reveals her saying, "Have memories from my past life," while the man reacts with, "What?" She explains that the engagement annulment is her death flag and reveals the world is an otom game from her past life. He listens, and she mentions love's power might save her. They float amidst the stars, with the word P.O.P. appearing as he tells her, "I understand you well." He accuses her of making fun of him, but concedes, "That is very clear." She exclaims, "No, I'm dead." Looking up at the night sky, she notices, oh, shooting stars. She appears startled and asks, "What are you doing? Are you trying to kill me? You brute." He declares, "I am the Demon King." She reacts loudly, asking what he thinks he is, and questions his offense. He announces his intention, "I will attend the evening party." She appears surprised and questions, "Wait, what's this all of a sudden?" He affirms, "Yes it was," acknowledging her aims. With a hand to his mouth, he admits, "Yes, I suppose I am," acknowledging his laughter. He reflects that this emotion is fitting for a demon king, while she senses, "I have a bad feeling." Smiling under the night sky, he expresses, "Now I feel like I want to make you cry." She observes the sky and remarks, "A meteor shower, tonight?" while appearing uneasy. She realizes, these are King Claude's emotions affecting the meteors, but dismisses it, acknowledging, "No, that's not it." As she watches the sky, she wonders, "What is this feeling?" All startled by her own reaction. A character reacts with frustration covering their face as another character smirks and expresses a desire to make them cry. The main character, flustered, is questioned by others about her reaction to the oven, which she downplays. The character fans themselves, thinking about the power of a charming person's remark, feeling it's unfair. Shocked, they gasp about not wanting a certain route, while also conflicted about avoiding an open ending. The character insists it's a misunderstanding, trying to explain their focus on the oven to concerned onlookers. While baking, they reflect on trying to follow a beloved route, acknowledging they might be in a bullying scenario. Determined, they deny having feelings for someone, blushing slightly. A finished pie is presented, and the character resolves to try again, agreeing to something. A girl, free-spirited, reflects on not being the crown prince's fiancée, appreciating not worrying about appearances. The girl sighs, surprised at her regular visits to the demon castle, while someone calls out, "Hey you." Someone recognizes the girl, saying, "I knew it. It's you, Lady Aileen." A man named Jasper greets her warmly, with Aileen expressing surprise and recognition. Jasper inquires about the engagement annulment. Aileen confirms but prefers not to discuss it further. Over drinks, Jasper insists he owes Aileen and claims he's an ally of justice, smiling brightly. Aileen appears frustrated as Jasper comments on her devotion to Prince Cedric, leading to a playful stomp. Jasper Val is introduced as a small newspaper president, appearing a bit nervous. Notes and papers on a desk mention a past scandal involving Prince Cedric and a past investigative collaboration. Aileen thinks that Jasper is hard to understand as he yawns during their conversation. A character is described as cautious and tight-lipped, only speaking with proof, which is considered a fair viewpoint. The girl questions Jasper about Lady Lilia, internally noting he wasn't in the original game storyline. Jasper, puzzled about Cedric's new lover, confesses disinterest, which is perfect for the girl's plan. The girl smiles and mentions she has a favor to ask. Gazing out at a bright day, someone comments on the wonderful weather. Characters around a table plan to repair the castle using someone's pocket money. A man angrily accuses the girl of blasphemy for suggesting humans enter the castle. The girl argues it's more disrespectful for the king to live in a shabby castle, prompting an angry response. Frustrated, the horned character covers his face, questioning human understanding while the girl sighs. A character named Keith discusses the idea of repairing a drafty place, considering using personal funds. A humorous conversation about taking King Claude as collateral unfolds, with questions about interest. The girl asks King Claude to see her actions as helping someone, seeking permission. A flashback begins with someone wanting to share something important before favors are asked. Jasper mentions some fired individuals came to him for help, scratching his head. The narrative reveals intentions to create affordable products and jobs through infrastructure development. Developing transport would have helped struggling workers, increasing tax revenue and prosperity. Prince Cedric demanded exclusive manufacturing on royal property, negating the need for public infrastructure. A woman with a surprised expression listens as someone mentions that all construction workers were let go. The woman, appearing concerned, asks about penalties and whether the workers were paid properly. A man referred to as father looks away, explaining that despite Lord Rudolph setting aside funds, the workers won't be paid for a while. Another man with a distressed look mentions the job's significance, noting Noble's reputation for charity, and highlights the workers' inability to find other jobs. The woman concludes she must create legitimate income opportunities, recognizing the economy's need for improvement to prevent the country's decay. She expresses her desire to repair a castle, stating it as a reason for her actions. A man questions why someone of her status as a duke's daughter is involved in these affairs. She reveals that her motivations also include a chance to retaliate against Prince Cedric. A character reflects on the name Cedric, showing resignation with the words "again" and "well, fine." The woman anticipates a response, expressing determination not to give up easily despite being told it's unnecessary. With a serious demeanor, one character advises discretion and emphasizes the importance of achieving good results to avoid attracting troublesome nobles' attention. The man, referred to as Master, asks Keith about unpaid funds, instructing him to secure the money for payments. Keith, enthusiastic and confident, assures he'll do his best to handle the task despite the time that's passed. The woman mentions an acquaintance named Jasper, a reporter, whom she has already asked to investigate the matter. The man acknowledges her proactive efforts, noting she never intended to use him as collateral. A conversation reveals concerns about funds being used to keep monsters away, highlighting that the Demon King, despite poverty, is still a prince. The woman agrees, acknowledging she shared the same thought. A hand is shown with a suggestion to investigate further, hinting that it could lead to a significant discovery. The man ponders the idea of the Demon King, intrigued by the notion of an outlawed prince dethroned. A conversation reveals that people from certain regions prefer the Demon King to the Knight's Order, despite the latter being an ally of justice. Discussing efficiency, it's mentioned that certain tasks, like clearing roads post-disaster, are done faster by others than the Knight's Order, mocking the notion of human fragility. The woman questions the accountability of greedy nobles embezzling fortunes, citing King Claude's competence in managing subordinates. A remark highlights the Demon King's reclusiveness, with a suggestion that his attractiveness could appeal to women if publicized. While walking, a character considers adding an item to an investigation list, and the other expresses disappointment at her potential decision regarding Prince Cedric. The woman confidently states that she found a much nicer man, despite it only being a few days since the annulment, leaving the other person surprised. A man sighs, reflecting on the notion that women are frightening. A hand holds an item, with the suggestion that things would be different if it weren't considered a loan. The woman explains she offered the returned money as a loan, sensing it wouldn't have been accepted otherwise, which is met with skepticism about her honesty. The man inquires about Jasper, revealing that he is the president of the Vallon newspaper, known for bold articles. Keith comments that Lady Aileen is focused on the right objectives. The woman acknowledges Keith's capabilities, noting his extensive knowledge, while Keith humbly denies knowing much. A character teases the woman about not liking to be indebted, suggesting an ulterior motive for her actions. The woman reacts with flustered surprise, questioning whether the close interaction is a form of bullying. Embarrassed, the woman makes a request to be lent land, aiming to create a farmette, as she attempts to turn the situation into a positive account. A person with long hair considers extending the stay of humans. Another agrees, saying they will pay rent. A conversation occurs about repairing the castle, with a warning about potential trouble with monsters. The long-haired person mentions the need for earnestness in making a request, considering future actions. A character named Belsbeth is surprised as another eagerly wants to start repairing the castle. Someone named Aileen is addressed, appearing shocked and wondering about more demands. Aileen is confused, recognizing someone as the pup from. A confrontation about turning a shadow into a gateway for monsters leads to complaints. Aileen scolds the small creature for being on a table, considering it bad manners, and asks it to come down. The small creature, wanting to offer thanks, is encouraged to go with Aileen. A figure announces it's an order from the king, prompting them to leave. A character is surprised about knights, while another is delighted, correcting themselves from servants to knights. Aileen, smiling, asks the knights to escort her as a delicate maiden, while someone looks puzzled. There is a discussion about the Fenrir pup and setting an example, involving King Claude. The long-haired person says they do not mind if others enjoy themselves. Aileen, speaking to a small creature, asks if it can close something, as the creature's face shines. A character warns Aileen not to get carried away, noting the king fancies her. Aileen is surprised to learn the king fancies her, as she recalls he remembers her name. Aileen is flustered, and another character notes her change from boldness to embarrassment. A lively character commands others to bow down before the king's room. Aileen is exasperated by the casual revelation of the king's room, pondering how to educate the character. Explosions happen as someone questions the decision to have humans repair the Demon King's castle, expressing earlier thoughts of difference. Aileen reassures someone that there are no laws against their plan, encouraging calm amidst concerns about attendance. A discussion ensues about the people's gratitude toward the Demon King, reinforcing hope for attendance. Aileen resolves to find another way if people don't come, reflecting on her noble status and Claude's longing for human connections. A person reflects on the harsh conditions set by Prime Minister Dautriche, contemplating becoming a commoner. Aileen offers assistance, promising to find a job and place to live for someone if needed. A sudden gust surprises them as a person insists they have a debt to repay. An authoritative figure demands a situation report, holding a small creature. Aileen and another individual caution that it is not yet time, noticing a monster's unexpected appearance. A figure contemplates the grandeur of making an entrance with monsters or by destroying surroundings. The horned character muses on the human limitation of flight, with Aileen playfully noting the grandeur of arriving from the sky. A figure with wings accuses someone of being an enemy. The other person denies it, claiming to be a reporter for Lady Aileen. The winged figure speaks of a king who knows everything that happens within a barrier, warning the other not to offend the king. Two characters watch the winged figure fly away, wondering if the king was referring to some wind and feeling offended by someone named Jasper. One character questions if the other did something to King Claude. The accused denies knowing the Demon King's face. The male character reflects on disturbances in the Demon King's heart causing natural phenomena, while the female seems curious. The female demands to know the truth, but the male backs away, acting confused. As the wind stirs, the male defends keeping unconfirmed information secret, not wanting to risk danger. The female laughs, finding the notion of King Claude doing things for no reason silly, as the wind calms. The female teases the male about having few friends, greeting approaching figures. Inside a room, a woman sits on a couch with a man behind her. He addresses her as Lilia, but she says it's not significant. They discuss Lady Aileen gathering misfits, with Lilia wondering about Aileen's intentions and fearing her. Lilia reminisces about Lady Aileen's condescending manners and bullying nature. Despite feeling chills, Lilia vows her adversary's future efforts will be in vain, harboring disdain yet mild forgiveness. A butterfly symbolizes a world moving towards a predetermined future in a story titled I'm a Villainous Daughter, so I'm gonna keep the last boss. An image of gears represents countless mechanisms working towards achieving a set future, each moving according to scenarios to achieve a result. A figure in partial view hints at a possibility that one gear becoming self-aware could disrupt the procession. Eyes wide open ponder what might occur if a gear desires change. The figure prepares to act, considering pursuing a different ending. The butterfly is seen alongside a group, implying involvement with other gears' actions. A narrative contemplates if a small change could alter the story, with the saint, demon, and maiden's regalia mentioned. A character expressed surprise at others attending an event, acknowledging different social statuses. A group expresses concern about dealing with the Demon King, questioning their actions. A character sighs, expressing familiarity with the peculiar nature of another's statements. A finger pointing is accompanied by the word shock, as if emphasizing a realization. A character advises on maintaining a facade of withdrawal to gather sympathy and plot revenge. Isaac Lombard, a merchant family's son turned nobility, is named with expertise in certain tactics suggested. Isaac is introduced alongside another character, noting their acquaintance developed through an academic lottery. In a game, he's a relative of Mark's, not a central target. Two characters sit in a library. One comments about disproving something. They discuss plans excitedly, writing quickly and proposing improvements. A character is applauded by a group, showing his sharp wit. A close-up shows a character stating Prince Cedric's true nature. A conversation reflects on observing an event from afar. The character admits that opposing the prince would be in vain. Dunny advises against unnecessary comments. Admiration for Isaac's realism is shown. Dunny is praised for handling a construction site as Aileen's plan succeeds. A character apologizes for the delay in medical development, expecting results from the Demon King's forest. Gratitude is expressed to Quartz for interest in forest plants, with some visible tension. Quartz feels down about Prince Cedric's actions affecting his plants. The woman offers Quartz and another character to work with her, expressing trust in them. A character warns the black-hearted doctor not to involve him as a leader, discussing ingredients in the forest. They argue about treacherous plans and the potential collapse of a bridge. A sudden cold wind distracts them, urging a return to work while someone claps. Keith arrives to greet and observe, dropped off by Belle. The group chats, revealing Keith as King Claude's aide. Reassurances are given. Keith acknowledges Isaac as Aileen's mastermind, shaking hands and praising his resourcefulness. Compliments for Donnie's construction skills and various offers from nobles come up. Donnie expresses his passion for his work. Praise is given to Luke and Quartz for their pharmacy's excellence, honored by the recognition. Keith admires Aileen's ability to gather skilled people at the Demon King's castle. Keith, a well-informed aide, discusses gathering information and expresses concerns about over-talking. Keith leads everyone inside with an ominous tone in a lavish setting. The group walks together while Keith notes Aileen's promising prospects amid the rain. Keith quietly expresses satisfaction with the situation. Inside, there's a feeling of being watched, as the eerie atmosphere suggests the Demon King's presence. Keith invites the group to follow him as his master awaits. A character acknowledges the presence of the Demon King. Keith announces their arrival to King Claude. The Demon King requests that the guests do not harm the animals or disrupt their way of life. The Demon King explains a barrier that lets him know the guest's actions unless he chooses not to watch. He warns Keith about his ability to monitor the guests at will. A discussion about castle repairs arises, with Keith offering to pay according to Aileen's estimates. The group feels overwhelmed by the amount of work needed to sustain the castle with magic. Magic is used to dry the group, impressing them with its effectiveness. Dunny inquires about repair requests. The Demon King wishes for a place where creatures can live peacefully. A figure with long dark hair instructs a servant, suggesting they ask Keith for details and follow their judgment if problems arise. Another character acknowledges, "As you wish." Rain pours outside as a character expresses concern about King Claude's demeanor, suggesting he seems on edge. A close-up of a character urging King Claude to voice any dissatisfaction, promising to handle it properly. King Claude acknowledges having a question but notes there is nothing in particular needing immediate attention. A character questions whether Cedric would be happy with current results, prompting a thoughtful response. A character is confused as to why Prince Cedric's name was mentioned, unsure of the intent behind the statement. A character with long hair hints at discussions about another possibly becoming a commoner, despite circumstances. A character is surprised about the other's ability to hear conversations inside the barrier, questioning their silence. A character blushes, embarrassed to admit the desire to maintain fashionable attire if losing status as a duke's daughter. The long-haired character reacts with surprise to the justification given, echoing the statement, "just because of that." Menacing text emphasizes the sentiment that for women, dresses serve as both combat uniform and armor. A character passionately explains the importance of attire and status in presenting oneself confidently, expressing determination. A promise is made to protect another regardless of their status, emphasizing the significance of words in society. A character resolves not to raise expectations about an official stance, determined to avoid mistakes, turning away with the thought of lip service. A character urgently asks King Claude why he was in a bad mood, seeking clarity. King Claude, with a pensive expression, admits to not fully understanding his own mood, leaving the other character puzzled. A chessboard-like floor vanishes, leaving a character in shock, wondering about the mysterious event. Another character smiles near a window, noting that King Claude's mood seems to have improved. Reflecting inwardly, a character acknowledges the endless unknowns about someone, despite trying to understand them. A character breaks the tension by suggesting a shift to discussing work, while another remarks on the success of prior greetings. Two characters discuss curiosity about an earlier conversation, with one advising the other to leave it alone. Concerns arise about potential disasters if the Demon King's emotions become disarrayed, highlighting the unpredictability. A discussion ensues over whether Prince Cedric or King Claude is better, with some admiring the Demon King's beauty. Commands are given to begin work, with tasks assigned to Belzebooth and Donnie, emphasizing efficiency over idle chatter. A taller figure acknowledges orders to follow, while a smaller one insists on their actual age despite appearances. Jasper and Keith shake hands, tasked with investigating embezzlement, committing to diligent effort. Isaac, Luke, and Quartz are approached to assist in developing a new product, prompting curiosity and readiness. A character suggests improving a formula to recreate a product, but another thinks it's not a good idea. They discuss market competition and the challenges of improving products without them being banned or copied. The focus turns to cosmetics as a business opportunity, noting noblewoman's willingness to spend on beauty. One character acknowledges the potential value of cosmetics, despite admitting it's not their field of expertise. A plan to develop a face lotion is proposed, with emphasis on its beauty-enhancing properties. The discussion involves a salve for healing skin, indicating a need for water in creating a face lotion. The characters explore using Luffa water for smoother hands and consider water as a key ingredient. Excitement builds as the characters realize the potential of cosmetics as skin-specialized chemicals. One character reflects on their past experience with skincare and makeup, planning to apply it to this world. The basics of cosmetic formulation are discussed, with the need to experiment with distilled water and essential oils. A plan is hatched to use a prototype product for an upcoming evening party, leveraging beauty for advertising. Motivation is questioned, but confidence remains that the product will sell, aiming for equal standing with others. A character expresses frustration over men's beautiful hair and skin, feeling challenged. Amidst intense determination, a declaration of battle and intent to succeed in cosmetics is made, foreseeing profitability. A delightful scent fills the room, thanks to a steam distiller, impressing the characters with the extraction. Various herbs and essential oils are experimented with, focused on treating dry skin. The group admires the thoroughness of gathered documents, with one character humorously exaggerating the thickness. They discuss creating herbal vinegar using thyme, sage, and mint, highlighting its disinfectant properties. The idea is to market the skin lotion to noblewomen while hoping it benefits commoners. There's a plan to sell the product as a medicinal item, alongside concerns about castle restoration. One character expresses enjoyment and satisfaction with the kitchen's progress. The kitchen is currently used for boiling herbs, with discussions on potential further uses. Despite being busy, one character dreams of making sweets, envisioning cookies, pies, and tarts. A humorous moment arises as characters and creatures demand sweets, using a shadow as a playful passageway. The creatures continue chanting for cookies and cakes, causing exasperation. A character promises to make something once settled, while pushing away a creature accusing them of tyranny. Resolutely, the character insists they will inform the Demon King directly, despite being busy. Another character warns creatures not to leave the barrier carelessly, securing their understanding. A playful accusation arises about sneaking sweets, with one character cleverly pointing out the hypocrisy. There's a discussion about being too lenient on the creatures, highlighting an exchange of information. The importance of manners is emphasized, distinguishing rewards from behavior. The topic shifts away from educating creatures, focusing instead on a more pressing matter. A character praises another, Jasper, for procuring funds, ready to report on it. Suspicion arises about motives, with concerns over unsettled embezzlement issues. The Demon King is startled, and the prospect of bad publicity is considered. A hope is expressed to focus on work rather than financial worries. Preparations for an evening party are mentioned, with a reminder to maintain appearances. A humorous expectation is set for King Claude, with an excited yet unanswered response. A character looks surprised, with a question mark above their head, while another character seems concerned, sweating slightly and saying, "Not particularly." A character contemplates, merely dressing up won't do her much good. Is that what he meant? Nearby, others comment that someone is shockingly pure, and that it was embarrassing to watch. A character exclaims loudly about a party in 1 month, urging others to work hard on a skin lotion project, determined to make someone regret underestimating them. A bottle with a floral design is appreciated by testers, but a character worries about the challenge of selling it, shown with their head in their hands. A character reflects on how their name once inspired trust, realizing they hadn't thought enough about promotion. A guest list is shown, with text indicating that great nobles will attend an evening party, suggesting it could provide momentum. A character reflects on creating something great but worries about getting people to use it. A character debates whether to beg others to try their product but fears being taken advantage of. A character ponders whether to involve King Claude in their situation. A character, surprised by someone named Almond, questions their actions. A character with horns addresses a girl, explaining they were told she was the right person and has a favor to ask. The girl, noting a breach of manners, asks the horned character what they want, despite the intrusion. The horned character expresses a desire to attend an evening party with someone significant. A character explains that even as an attendant, one would only stand in the corner at the event. The evening party is described as a battlefield for the king, filled with those who drove him away, yet the king is strong and won't lose. The horned character wishes to learn manners to avoid shaming the king at the event and desires to be near him. A character considers the request, acknowledging their role as King Claude's right-hand man and knight, promising to help within a month. They discuss the Demon King's unpredictability and his protection of monsters and people, noting King Claude's unique nature. A character sees potential in targeting rivals and considers using that information. A girl advises mastering knightly qualities to attract young ladies' hearts, while the horned character expresses eagerness to learn manners quickly. A girl with a commanding presence questions why someone doesn't kneel before her. Training occurs with frustration as a character attempts to learn the proper bow, while another reflects on odd behavior. A character observes another's knightly transformation with satisfaction. With 1 week remaining, a character urges appreciation for the effort made to master bowing to be by someone's side. 2 characters discuss monsters working voluntarily, one questioning if permission was needed. Various characters, including monsters, appear happy and engaged, with one remarking that it's fine since they enjoy it. A discussion unfolds about the helpfulness of monsters in construction and a promise made to them, with a suggestion to visit other sites for payment. A character suggests making monsters employees of a company, believing they could work well outside the barrier. Another proposes assigning restoration work after disasters to improve the monster's reputation, with King Claude as the leader. A vast landscape where monsters reside is described, once just an abandoned castle and forest. The past is recalled where monsters sought refuge, leading to overcrowding and a lack of resources. A girl refers to it as a monster refugee crisis and questions what actions were taken. Another character mentions that Keith purchased the neighboring lands, previously owned by a count. A view to the north shows harsh weather and poor soil conditions. One character calls Keith clever for acquiring land cheaply near the Demon King's territory. An individual admits trust in Keith, but also feelings of jealousy, prompting curiosity. Reflections on failing to gain Prince Cedric's trust are shared, with a notion that a queen is also a subject. A memory of receiving no gifts or visits while being left in charge of the business leads to contemplation. A promise is acknowledged, with one asking the other to attend an evening party, followed by a dramatic exit. In a ballroom setting, a question about past disappointments is met with an acknowledgement that it happened in the past. A conversation takes place about equal measures and not being ungracious, with a question of how to do so. One character suggests marriage as a condition for making amends. The response hints at considering the idea if there were pleading, with curiosity about getting accustomed to the notion. Aline is questioned about why she might cause someone to cry, and a humorous observation is made about her personality. Two people approach with an apology for interrupting with bad news. A rumor surfaces that someone is collaborating with monsters to harm Lady Lilia. Confusion arises, asking for clarification on the situation. It's revealed that threatening notes have been sent to Lady Lilia, demanding her withdrawal. Questions arise about the suspicion of being the culprit, with notes that bear a familiar signature. Aline reflects on how in the game her character was involved, leading to a kidnapping incident connected to the notes. Aline is shocked to realize something relates to her, expressing disbelief. She dismisses the situation as a joke, questioning why anyone would sign such a note with their own name, and makes a sarcastic comment about what she would do. Others express belief in her innocence but warn about the world's perception, suggesting it could be used against the Prime Minister. Aline reflects on the note's signature, knowing it wasn't her, and wonders who it could be. She speculates on why people think she's working with monsters, amidst ongoing tensions about the future queen. Aline dismisses the threat as ridiculous, stating she would have discarded it, earning a compliment for her resolve. They suggest the culprit might be someone within due to the note's delivery under high security. Aline recalls that Isaac's family business dominated the market for the letter paper used. A creature is summoned using Aline's shadow powers, surprising some observers. Aline tasks the creature with retrieving the castle's garbage, offering apple pie as a reward to its delight. The creature suddenly refuses, leading to confusion as King Claude insists on taking responsibility. Aline explains she only needs the creature to retrieve documents, assuring there is no danger, treating it as an ordinary crow. A person with long dark hair mentions the likelihood of servants seeing someone and the possibility of bird traps. A creature is surrounded by various statements including a lack of power outside a barrier and a discussion about teaching children to use knives. A young person with long light hair points out the impossibility of saving everyone alone. Two individuals are interacting with a bird, with one advising to return immediately if danger is sensed. The bird nods as a person with light hair promises to protect it, showing affection for the bird named Almond. The group reacts with surprise, and one confirms the bird's name, Almond, while another questions their expressions. The bird is given instructions to assign roles and act with its fellows, flying away if danger is sensed. The young person with light hair appoints the bird as the captain. The bird enthusiastically salutes, saying, Aye, sir." A conversation reveals the bird learned to salute, with credit given to someone named Isaac. The dark-haired individual wonders if there is anything more they can do. A conversation reflects on unchanged feelings of wanting to make someone cry, prompting a playful request to change that. The dark-haired individual expresses a desire to spoil someone until they become corrupted. The young person reacts with steam coming from their head, pondering the change in a character known as the detached Demon King. The young person contemplates official engagement documents while trying to calm down, noting King Claude's potential assistance. The young person considers an opportunity, feeling conflicted about whether it feels right. The young person requests to be escorted more dashingly than others at an evening party, specifically mentioning Prince Cedric. The young person is self-critical, wondering about their behavior, while the dark-haired individual finds them tough. The dark-haired individual promises something, surprising the young person. A young girl named Lilia is asked about her well-being and mentions the Demon King's appearance at school. A boy questions Lilia's strange behavior, suspecting the Demon King's involvement. Lilia reassures someone that she is fine, despite their worry. A boy expresses concern for Lilia, repeating her name. Lilia thanks Cedric, insisting she feels cheerful now. Descriptions highlight different characters: the serious knight's apprentice, the lonely Demon King, and the doting prince. Lilia apologizes for needing to leave after being called by her teacher. Lilia jokes as she says goodbye, reflecting on her world with a smile. A past event, the Fenrir attack, is recalled as a missed opportunity but credited for her memories. Lilia resolves to use her memories for a bright future, critiquing those around her. She reflects on finding peace in a game, noting that sad things happen, but no one is evil. Lilia remembers a boring life, feeling unloved, yet hopeful for understanding. Embracing her role as protagonist, Lilia walks confidently, determined to enjoy her world fully.